Hi guys, Hamster here. I have another product I want to share with you guys. If any of you guys are considering looking for a weapon light and you've been looking at the Surefire X300, I would just want to share it with you guys so you guys could take a look at it and see if it's something that may be right for you. And what we have here is the Surefire X300 and their X series of weapon lights. And basically what we have is a high quality LED flashlight. This light has increased in power over the past couple years due to the increase in the LED technology, and this light is now a 170 lumens light. It runs on two 123 lithium batteries. It has a run time of 2.4 hours at 170 lumens. This is a very rugged light. It's an aircraft aluminum body. It's hard anodized. It is also waterproof, not water resistant. This is waterproof up to 66 feet. So this is a very durable housing on this light. If it can withstand 66 feet of immersion, it should serve you well. Some of the reasons I chose this light, some of the features on it I liked, were the interface on how you use it and the way the reflector is and the beam pattern. This has a extremely clean beam pattern. No weird artifacts, no halos. It is also a very tight pattern, much tighter than any other lights I've looked at. And what that does for me is makes the light seem much more intense than it really is. That 170 lumens seems more like 200 because it's so focused, and if you had to shine this on somebody, they would be quite overwhelmed with the amount of light because this is so focused. It still has enough spill till you'll have situational awareness in the room, but the beam is extremely focused, and I really love that, and the clarity and how clean the beam is very impressive. And along with that focus, it gives you some reach. This easily reaches out to 75 yards effectively, and at 50 yards I would have to say it's extremely effective at 50 yards and less. Some of the things about this, it's rail mounted, it's quick release, so it doesn't have to ride on the weapon all the time. This is not only a good pistol light, this could be excellent light for a carbine. This could be an all-around, if you only had one light, this would work as a handheld light, a pistol light, or a carbine light. And if you wanted to dedicate it to a pistol or a carbine, they have two different tail caps that you can buy and change, and you could have this to a dedicated tape switch so it's grip activated on a pistol, or they have a different tail cap which has a toggle switch and a rail mounted tape switch which gives you a on-off and momentary on-off if you wanted to run it on a carbine. So this light would work very well in your hand. It's at home on your pistol, it's home on your carbine. It could be made to be permanent on your rifle or your pistol, or it could be left as it is right now with just the quick detach and the standard interface. And the reason I chose this also was the interface is very simple. It's in a stressful situation, I want things to be very simple. And basically here is how it activates. You have the switch here on both sides. Either side here, if you just push on it like this, it's momentary on, either way. And if you rotate this switch up or down, it's on. So it doesn't matter which hand, which finger hits it, which way you flip it. Doesn't matter if you flip it up, flip it down, which hand you flip it with. Doesn't matter. Whatever you flip it, it's on. So under a stressful situation, it's much less complicated. Just flip the switch, it's on. If you push on the switch, either side, it's on. I really liked how simple that was in a stressful situation, to keep it simple, and it doesn't matter. I flip it with any finger and it's on. And I really like that. And I like the fact that it goes on and off the rail quickly. The only drawback I see to going on and off the rail is it has to slide on from the end of the rail. It cannot clip on in the middle of the rail. So there'll have to be nothing in front of wherever you're putting this on to be able to slide it on. Also, with the pistol I'm running this on, I found a couple things that I had issues with that I'll share with you guys, that maybe if you're running the same pistol or a similar pistol that has the same problems, maybe this will help you. I noticed when I would slide this on to my SIG that it wouldn't go on far enough to engage in the rail, and it would come right back off. It could not slide quite far enough in to engage the notch in the bottom of the rail. Didn't quite go far enough. And upon looking at it, and it'd be nice if they put this in the directions, but I don't know why they didn't put it there. I couldn't find it anywhere or any information on it. But on the back of the cap, on the back of the unit here, there's basically a spacer held in with 4 pins. And what you'll need to remove that spacer is basically a small paper clip. Take the paper clip and you'll put it in here, and you'll push out that side, then you'll take and push out that way. And what you'll wind up with is 4 small pins, which I have right here that I've captured in this piece of tape. Hopefully you can see these. So you'll have push out these 4 small pins, and that allows you to pull off this spacer on the back of the unit here. And it will just pop right off like that. So you pop this spacer off, and now that gives you more clearance if you need to slide farther on your weapon. Now, taking the spacer off does not affect the integrity of this unit at all. This is purely a spacer, doesn't affect the strength, doesn't affect the waterproofness of the light. It's purely a spacer. So now when I go to slide it on, it will go on far enough to engage the rail and lock right in. Perfect. Okay, also one thing I noticed, this does come with a couple different attachment devices. It comes standard with a universal type device marked with a U, and you want to probably put the Picatinny rail on, which is marked with a P, because the thickness of the bar here is the exact same thickness as the notch in the Picatinny rails, and you will have no play and movement once you're engaged. Now, to do that, you just basically take these Allen screws, take the rails off. And they provide you with the Allen wrench, and they provide you with Loctite to put on the screws when you put it back together. I did notice that I did have a little bit of drag in the rails. These polymer rails were a little rough, and I was having some trouble getting it to go on and off the weapon effortlessly. The last thing I want is to be struggling with a flashlight, especially if my hand's anywhere near the end of the muzzle and I'm trying to force a flashlight on, or I'm struggling. I don't want to be struggling trying to get my flashlight on. I want this flashlight to go on and off effortlessly, just like that. Quickly click on, and then pull down the tabs, release, off. I do not want to be struggling with a flashlight with a loaded firearm. So what I did when I had the rails off, I took a simple emery fingernail file, and I just lightly kissed the inside of those rails a couple times, and on both the top and bottom of the rail, and just basically gave them a slight polish. Don't go crazy removing much of material. I just lightly polished the plastic, and now it glides on effortlessly, will not affect the finish on my firearm. I will not struggle with the light getting it on and off, and that made it a world of difference. Now, one issue I did have, and that's due strictly to the SIG, and I'll show you on the SIG here. Some of the SIGs on the rail, they run a radius to profile. I don't know if you can see that, how that's picking up on the front of the rail. Other SIGs, the rail is perfectly flat. I wish they were all flat. That radius caused me a problem. I did not quite have enough room to get that on, and it was causing a lot of issues. So what I did was, while I had these rails off, I was changing to the Picatinny adapter, I was polishing the rails, and you can see here, I bought 6 small stainless steel flat washers, and I placed between the body and the rail. I left them stainless so you guys could see them. They are about 22 thousandths of an inch thick. I checked it with a feeler gauge, and that was more than adequate to give me the clearance I need on a SIG. So if you're running an X300 on a SIG and you're struggling, this thing is extremely hard to get on, get off, just go to the hardware store, get you some extremely small stainless steel washers, use them as a spacer under between the rail and the body, and then polish those rails, and this thing will just slide on like it was meant to it. Plus, you'll need to take that spacer off the end. And I mean, any other firearm that has the same problem, maybe the thickness of the trigger guard or the drag on the rails, easily rectified, and I am extremely happy with this light. The way the light works, I could not be happier with it. How quickly it is to put on, off. Extremely happy. So that's the X300 from Surefire. This will work on your pistol. This will work on your carbine. It's a fantastic light, high quality. You can see I did have some issues with the SIG, but pulling the spacer off, all you need is a paper clip, a couple small stainless steel washers for a shim. If you still have trouble, you can polish that polymer very quickly with just a standard little emery board there, and this thing will be extremely effective. Quickly on, quickly off. The reason I want to be able to take it off, because I may be using a holster sometimes that does not, allow me to use a light, on that particular holster. You may already own a nice holster you like, and then you will not be able to holster the weapon with the light. The ability to pop this light off, put it in a small pouch, have it with you, I think is a big bonus, because then now you have a handheld light. Situation calls for it. You could easily be, put on the light on the weapon in just a few seconds. But 170 lumens, extremely effective at 50 yards and less, and still effective out to 75 yards. Very focused beam, incredible, brilliant white light, very, very crisp beam pattern. So that's the Surefire X300. If you're thinking about a light to do multiple tasks, take a look at that from Surefire. So if you had any, we're thinking about that. I think that's about everything. There is to know about the Surefire X300. Thanks for watching.